Corruption has appeared on the land and the sea on account of what man's hands have wrought. And these babies is our future. And you must know what you're shooting into the bodies of our babies.
So a lot of people ask me why I do what I do. Because it is not safe. And it is not exactly easy. You don't work in pharma and then speak out against them. They do not like that. And they haven't made it easy. But I am up here because someone needs to speak out.
Yeah.
And someone needs to be the voice for all of these people who cannot stand here today and speak because they've lost their lives after a vaccine or to a disorder that the vaccine caused. So a lot of people ask me, but Brandy, vaccines are safe. And I said, when was the last time you read a vaccine insert? Because there is no way, if you read the safety studies and the ingredients, that you could ever think that that was safe to inject into your body or that of your child. Aluminum, a known neurotoxin, which is linked to breast cancer and Alzheimer's. You see that in the mainstream media. But why don't you see that talked about with vaccines? Why have vaccines become a dirty word? It's all about the money. It is close to $100 billion industry in the making. And it's very profitable. Vaccines are far more profitable than pharmaceutical drugs. Pharmaceutical drug market is competitive. It's saturated. And it is not the big profit maker it once was, but vaccines are. There are 271 in development. They're making mandatory vaccine laws for children and adults. And they are very good at making sure you don't know what's in them. Formaldehyde. Has anyone seen all that media about formaldehyde and wood flooring? And, oh, we got to get those wood flooring, especially those ones imported from China. And then all of the toxins in the water in Flint. We got to get those out. And all the MSG, all these supermarkets are pulling all products with MSG off their shelves. All of these chemicals are in vaccines. Why are we not talking about them when we inject them into our body, where they are far more potent and they do far more harm? They are not safe. And the safety studies that are done are not real safety studies. When I was a pharma rep, everything was gold standard, double-blind, placebo-based studies. Look at the vaccine safety studies. They are conducted by the companies that sell them. They are not double-blinded. They are not placebo-based. They study one vaccine that's toxic with the chemicals in it and the additives against another one, or against a placebo that has all of those toxic additives in it. This is not okay. Our children and ourselves, we are the guinea pigs. And that is not okay, and we're seeing this in our society. It is now normal to have an autoimmune issue. That is not normal, folks. It is not normal to be allergic to things. They don't have allergies like that in Europe and other countries that have far less vaccines on the schedule and none mandated. Asthma, allergies, autoimmune issues. 1 in 12 women now has an autoimmune issue. These are all triggered environmentally, all triggered from exposure to toxic chemicals. And those toxic chemicals are in vaccines. Cancer. 1 in 3 men will die of it, 1 in 4 women. It is now the leading cause of death in children. Children. Brain and neck, nervous system cancer are leading the way, as well as leukemia. These are all related to the toxins going in their body. This is not normal. We're seeing these things in the US, and we're being told they're normal. Autism is being portrayed as normal. It is not normal. These are all developmental delays that we should not see in the skyrocketing numbers that we're seeing in the US. And that is why we're here today. We have to take back our health. and say no more. No more. Another thing I hear often, oh, but the science is settled, Brandy. No. Actually, science is never settled, by definition. And independent science not funded by pharma has been very clear that there are, that the additives in vaccines, in vaccine-relevant doses, are causing damage. Every single shot causes damage. And those small doses are cumulative. You never know if it's going to be one shot that pushes you over the edge, or it'll be after 32. You have no idea. That's why we have to step back and say no more until we get this real information out there, until those thousands of studies that show the toxicity are on the front page of the newspaper.
Yeah.
Another big thing I hear, but Brandy, vaccines saved us, we'd all be dead. I love to quote the CDC on this one. Because according to the CDC, the reason we don't have infectious disease in the same rates we did in the early 1900s is because of chlorinated water. Look it up. Look up the chlorinated water report from the CDC. It's on the website. It's pharma that is telling you. It is pharma that tells you that their products are the ones that saved us. Their products are not saving us. That is very clear by the poor level of health we have in the US. We have one of the most expensive healthcare systems in the world. We spend more per capita on healthcare than any other developed country. Yet we have the least effective healthcare, and we have some of the sickest populations. This is not a coincidence, folks. Not a coincidence. Disease declined 80% before vaccines were introduced. And a lot of vaccines that were the leading cause of death in 1900, including tuberculosis, there was never a vaccine program for. Vaccines did not save us. They just didn't. It is one of the biggest mass marketing schemes this country has ever seen.
Yeah!
And our health is suffering for it. So as the vaccine schedule drastically increases year after year, and our children are now subjected to 72 vaccines before age 18, 3 times more than most developed countries. And as we see skyrocketing issues in our population, children and adults, and as they come after us with mandatory vaccine laws, adults are next, by the way. Adults are next. Read about Healthy People 2020 and National Adult Immunization Program. They're coming. We stand here today saying no more. Enough is enough. And I just want to end on one of my favorite quotes that I read to myself every night before I go to bed so that I can wake up in the morning and do this job, do this mission that I have been called to do. It's a quote by Buddha, and he says, 3 things will not be hidden long: the sun, the moon, and the truth.
Yeah!
And even though it may be raining today, the sun will come out again, and so will the truth. Thank you.
Yeah!
And I was just pointed out that there is a big sign of truth right across. Behind that statue, there is a building with truth across the side of it.
Nice.
And that is why we are here and why we are standing in the rain.